needs no introduction, Mr. John McCarthy. So,
what's up, guys? Have a good time tonight. We want everyone to come out of here safe. That's what we're looking for, okay? We're going to go over the rules here in California. Mostly follow unified rules. We're going to talk about some things that are different, not much. If you have a question about something, if you don't want to ask it in front of, because you got your opponent in the room, that's fine. You can ask us later. We'll come up and individually tell you if we're going to be doing your match. If you want to ask a question so we can answer it so there's no confusion about stuff, okay? When it comes to unified rules, first thing I'll talk about is the rules to a point. I'm not going to cover everything. Everyone know what the unified rules of MMA are. Anybody that doesn't. So I can just ask you any question, you're all going to know it, right? That's a freaking lie. I like that though, that's good. Okay? We'll go over that. I'll go over as far as us conducting the bout, what we're going to do so you understand if we're telling you something, what it means, what you need to do to respond to it. That's what's important so you have no doubts in your mind. If we're telling you to do something, what you need to do. If you want to stay in the fight, or if you need to get out of the fight, or any of those things, all right? When it comes to the rules, unified rules as far as don't eye gouge, that means with the elbow, chin, fingers, any of that stuff. Watch the headbutt. You cannot use your head. If you go and you hit your opponent with both hands and both of them break, and you sit there and you say, well, I got my head. You can't do that. It doesn't matter if you're not hitting head to head. Head to body, anything as far as using your head as a striking instrument, it's against the rules. Can't do it, okay? Right? Don't bite, don't spit. Don't frickin' grab hair. It's pretty simple. Small joint manipulation is fingers and toes, meaning you have to grab at least 3 for it not to be a foul. You grab 3 or 4, you're good. You grab 2, 1, it's a foul. We're going to call you this, okay? Everyone's got that. No throat strikes. When we talk about throat strikes, it is not, if you're in the stand-up and you're throwing punches and you pull your head back and your opponent lands one right to your throat, you go, I had last week, it was kind of cool. Okay? Don't sit there and go, yeah, no shit, I saw it. Okay? That's not illegal. Okay? You pull your head up and he hits you there. What the rule is for is you go to the ground, I extend your head away, and I try to target the throat. Now it becomes illegal. Okay? So if you're in the stand-up and you get hit there, either motor on or tell us you need out of the fight, and we'll get you out of the fight. Okay? When it comes to the gouging part, don't C-clamp your opponent's throat, his trachea, don't take your thumb, start to gouge it in. That's gouging. That's when it becomes illegal also with the throat. Okay? As far as striking the back of the head, do not hit your opponent to the back of the head. The back of the head is from the crown of the head. That's that little nodule that we all have somewhere in our skull. Going straight down the back of the head, all the way down your spine, down to your tailbone. With a 1-inch variance to each side, so that's a 2-inch strip that you cannot target. When it gets to the neck, the nape of the neck, it's going to cover the entire neck. So it's going to be that strip, it's going to widen out at the neck, and it's going to narrow back down all the way down the spine. The easiest thing for you to do, target the ear. If you are touching an ear, such as that, that is not the back of the head. Okay? Is that clear to everybody? Everyone understands that. If you are in a bad position, your opponent's going after you, and he's throwing a punch, and when he's throwing it, you turn your head, and he hits you square to the back of the head. That is not an illegal punch on him. It was caused by you. If you want to look up at Jason or look up at me and go, that's the back of the head, we're going to look at you and go, no shit. We saw it too. You caused it. Okay? If you're the person throwing the punch, you're going to hear us telling you, watch the back of the head. Meaning, don't come back with a second punch there, because you come with a second one, his head's already turned, that means you're targeting it. Now it becomes illegal. That's going to be a penalty against you. Is that clear to everybody? Okay? We know what the back of the head is. Hitting just because it's behind the ears does not mean it's the back of the head. Is that clear with everybody? Any questions about the back of the head? Downward point of elbow strike, don't take your hand, bring it from the sky straight down to the ground. That is the only elbow strike you can't do. Anything that has an arc to it in any way is a good legal elbow. If you take your hand from the sky and you bring it with an arc back to hit your opponent back there, that would be a legal elbow strike. Even though your hand started from here, it's not that straight up and down. You can do that. If you get your opponent on the ground, you get into side control, and you want to slide it straight back, that's legal. You get your opponent in guard and you want to do that same type of elbow strike, in that position, it's legal. You can use it. Okay? Any questions about elbow strikes at all? Nothing. Good. Do not swear at your opponent. It would be horrible if you swore at him. I would probably be offended. It might make me cry. Okay, so don't do that. It'd be fucking wrong. Okay? Do not, when it comes to kneeing or kicking your opponent on the ground, If your opponent, you knock your opponent to the ground. All right? They are a grounded opponent. A grounded opponent is what? Anything but the soles of the feet, they're a grounded opponent. It's not 3 points of contact. Okay? If I have 1 foot and a hand out, I'm a grounded opponent. If you knock your opponent down, he's down, and you have the ability to kick at their body, kick at their legs. You cannot kick at their face, but you are in control of that position. Meaning, I'm not going to sit there, or Jason's not going to sit there and look at you and go, and ask you, do you want him up? I'm not going to talk to you in that way. You're fighting. I know it's hard to fight and carry on a conversation with me, and I'm asking too much of you. I'm not going to do that to you. So you need to understand, you knock them down. If you want to press the action, keep them on the ground, be it either you want to punch, kick, whatever, then stay pressed up on your opponent, and we will give you time to work in that position. Okay, that's saying that you want to keep them there, we'll let you go. If what you're doing is every now and then you're throwing a kick and it's hitting their legs and then you bounce around and then you throw quick, if it's not doing damage to your opponent, we eventually are going to come in between you, we're going to separate you and stand your opponent up and get the fight started from that position. Okay? If you're damaging your opponent, we're going to let you go. Okay? If you knock your opponent down, you're doing good in the stand-up, and you don't want to go to the ground, if they're really good on the ground or whatever, and you want them up, then back away from them. We'll automatically come in between you and make them get up. You're in control of that position. Is that clear to everyone? When it comes to knees, as far as knee strikes to the head, do not knee strike an opponent who's in the grounded position. If your opponent comes shooting in at you and you initiate a knee on that shoot, it's a legal knee. It does not matter if your opponent's got a crappy shot that his knee slides against the ground. It's a legal knee. Once he's established himself on the ground, now he's a grounded opponent. If you get put into a position, we'll say, against the fence, he's going to knee, and you want to put your hand down to the ground to make yourself a grounded opponent, you can do that. It's using the rule, yeah, but you can do it. What we're telling you is this: don't try to play with the rule. If your hand goes down, then keep your hand down on the ground until you decide to get up. If you try to use it where I'm going to start to bring it up and then try to put my hand down to catch my opponent in a foul, it ain't happening. Every knee that they land on you while you're taking your hand and picking it up and down is going to be a legal knee. Is that clear to everybody? Don't try to use the rule to protect yourself. You can do it the one time once it's down, but once you decide to get up, then get up. If your opponent forces you back down, that's different. But once you decide to pick that hand up, let's get yourself up. Is that clear to everyone? Don't hold on to the fence. That means the fencing material, the cage material, the padding, all of it. It's okay to put your hands on it. It can be like that wall. You can put your hands on it, push off of it, your feet push off of it. That's good. That's legal. It's when your hands go through and start to control your body position or your opponent's by grabbing the fence, grabbing the padding, now it becomes illegal. We're going to be coming over, we're going to tell you let go, and we're going to be slapping at your hand or pulling your hand off of it. If you lose your balance, you go down, you end up in a bad position because of it. Too bad. You were doing something illegal, we're going to pull at your hand. If it upsets your balance, you were doing something illegal, that's your consequences for doing it. Okay? If you use it in a fashion that, you know what, your opponent goes to take you down and you grab it in a way that you end up turning the position, you gain a dominant position on your opponent because of that, I'm telling you, I'm going to come in and I definitely am stopping the fight and I'm pulling you out of the position, and you'll be lucky if you don't lose a point off. You understand? Look at that. We're pretty good. All right. When it comes to the shorts, don't grab a hold of the shorts. Don't grab a hold of the gloves of your opponent. But you can grab your own. Your opponent goes for a Kimura. You want to grab your own shorts, grab your own gloves, you can do that. That's legal. But do not grab a hold of your opponents in any way. It doesn't mean that your hand can't be on him. It doesn't mean that, you know what, you've got a little finger on it. It means when you're actually starting to control your opponent's body position by the use of those shorts, it's illegal. You start to control their hand by just the use of the material of the glove, that's when it becomes illegal. Okay? Do not do that stuff. All right, don't throw your opponent out of the cage. The stupid things like don't do heel kicks to the kidney, don't freaking grab the clavicle. He's not going to do a goddamn thing anyways, but you can't do it. Don't twist the flesh. Don't stick your fingers into a cut or, God forbid, an orifice. Okay? I don't want to see it be ugly. There's all kinds of things as far as that are in the unified rules that we're going to cover as far as sportsmanship and things like that. For the corners, the seconds, if you got a fighter here, you are here to help your fighter. That's what we expect you to do. Talk to your fighter. Do not talk to his opponent. Do not talk to me. Do not talk to Jason. If you want to talk to us, your time to do that is before the fight. Don't do it during the fight. If you start talking, and you're saying, don't worry, Jason's a great referee, he knows he's going to stand you up in just a second, it ain't going to help your guy in getting stood up. Okay, so be there for your fighter. If you become a nuisance to us or you become a problem, we will stop the fight. I'm telling you, I'm not going to take points from your fighter, but I will make sure that Roy or Mark or one of them escorts you out of the Fox Theater. Okay? Be here for your guy, talk to your guy, don't talk to his opponent, don't talk to us. Is that clear? When it comes to the mouthpiece, if your fighter's mouthpiece gets knocked out, it gets knocked out, I expect you to have a bottle of water in your hand. We will come over to you. I'm telling you now, I'm not handing you the mouthpiece. I will hold on to it. All I want you to do is pour water on it. The fighter has got fingers. I'm going to take the mouthpiece. He's going to take the mouthpiece, give it back to the fighter. You can put it back in your mouth. Is that clear to everyone? Okay? When it comes to us standing the fight up, fight goes to the ground, we're going to say you want to be there. You take the fight down there. If you end up in guard, that's fine. What we're looking for is action, and we're looking for damage. If you go down and you're in your opponent's guard, but you're hitting them with big punches, big elbows, and you're hurting, you're damaging them, we'll let you stay there for the whole damn round. Okay? You're doing something that can bring about an end to the fight. If you take the fight to the ground and you sit there and you clamp on, and you sit there and you put your head in the middle of his chest, and every now and then you go body, body, head, and you can hear the corners telling you body, body, head, because it means you're really busy. It doesn't mean you're busy. It means you're stalling. Okay? We expect there to be action. I expect you to try to do something in the fight. I'm not here to tell you to punch. I'm not here to tell you to go and pass his guard and go for submission. I want you to fight the way you want to fight. But understand you need to be busy. You need to be going after something that we can look at and say, he's trying to advance his position. He's trying to damage his opponent. You do that, we'll give you time. If eventually you're not doing anything and I'm thinking of standing the fight up, I will give you a warning by telling you, I'll call out your name, and I'm going to tell you to improve your position. What are you going to do? Same thing. That's telling you, if you don't change what you're doing right then, you're going to be stood up. You've got three options with me. You can pass that fighter's guard, get to a more dominant position, I'll let you stay longer. Or post up and pass, or post up and start leveling punches at him, but don't go 1, 2, 3, back down and hold on. I'm telling you, I'm going to come in, I'm going to stop you, I'm going to stand you up. You did not change the fight. When we tell you that and we're telling you to post up, obviously you're giving space. We're wanting you to change that fight without us really interfering a whole lot with it. Obviously, your opponent has the ability to move. They can try to do something. You have space. That's what we're looking for, is an opening in the fight. If you don't do those things, we're going to be standing you up. Clear to everybody? When it comes to if you get hurt, you get hit with a shot, it hurts you, you fall down. Great. No problem. You want to cover up, something like that, cover up. What we're looking for is when your opponent comes after you, if they do go after you, we're looking to see where the punches are landing. If they're landing for the most part on your arms, you're doing a great job of protecting yourself. You're not going to hear me say anything. You're not going to hear Jason say anything. You're doing a good job. If they're not bouncing off your arms and they're bouncing off your skull and they're doing damage to you, and we're thinking about getting you out of this fight, we're going to be telling you, I'll call out your name, I'm going to tell you, move, get out.
Fighter got to move.
Fighter got to move. There you go. It's telling you, you need to at least try to move your position, try to take away what they're attacking you with. We don't care if you're successful. We care that you're trying. If you're trying, it says this is working, we're going to let you go. It's when you don't try or you can't try. Or you do this, you put both hands to one side of your head, and you're saying, this is going to be my savior, and I'll bring my knee up, and I say it to everything. If you've got a trainer that taught you that, show me him, because I'm going to show you an idiot. Okay? No one teaches you that. That's you saying, I've become overwhelmed, I don't know what the hell else to do. I'm telling you, it's the same as tapping out, we're going to get you out of the fight. Is that clear to everybody? Everyone's got it. Okay? Submission-wise, if you get caught in a submission, we're going to let you work your way out of it if you can. All right? You know what you can put up with. I look at it, I think it's good. Jason looks at it, he thinks it's good. We're not going to sit there and just stop it. We will let you try to work your way out of it. But understand, if we see any damage, the fight's coming to an end. Is that clear to everybody? Damage occurs, you're done, and I guarantee you with the two doctors we have here today, you're going to have a long suspension. Okay? So don't let that happen. Let us get you out of the fight so you can come back and fight again. It happens to everyone. If you get caught in a submission and you scream out in pain, that's the same as tapping out. The fight's coming to an end. Is that clear to everybody? that is not, you know what, you get caught in a triangle and you go to pick him up, that's a grunt. We understand the difference. You're okay with that. The scream out in pain, fight's over. Everyone's got that. Last little bit I want to go over with you is protect yourself at all times, meaning when we start the fight, it's on, guys. You want to come out, you want to touch gloves, that's great. Do it. I don't care. But understand, if your opponent goes like this and then clocks you and you go boom, he won the fight. All right? You didn't protect yourself. You got to protect yourself at all times. All right? Once we start it, the fight's on. When we tell you to stop, stop everything you're doing. Stop your punching, stop your submission, freeze. Anything you do after we tell you stop can be points off your scorecard or us taking you out of the fight. This is a gentleman's sport, no matter what some public people or idiot politicians may think. This is MMA, respect the sport of MMA. There's all kinds of things within the unified rules as far as sportsmanship. Do not attack your opponent under the care of the referee. Do not attack your opponent after the bell is sounded. Do not, all these things. No, do not flagrantly disregard the referee. There's all these things that all comes down to sportsmanship. We expect you to conduct yourself in a way that you bring honor to your family name, your trainers that have trained you hard, the place that you represent, all of that. Okay? If you don't do something, you've got a rear naked choke in, you don't like this guy, and you're putting him out, and all of a sudden he does this, and we come in and tell you stop, and you decide I'm not stopping, you've made a big mistake, you're not going to like the way we break it, and you're definitely, I guarantee you, you're definitely losing the fight. Is that clear to everyone? Be smart, be a gentleman, compete hard, and be a sportsman. Anything I didn't cover for you that you want to go over? Anything you're not sure about? Best of luck to everyone. Have a good night.